I get a lot of emails, and I'm thankful for the people that sent me this particular story to my email, the afcmatters@gmail.com. So this story comes out of New Jersey, and I'm getting this from NBCnews.com. And here's why I can relate to this in a crazy way, because when I first pulled this story up and added it to the stories that we were going to talk about, I literally just went through something, and it's kind of similar to this. And I actually was able to get myself out of the situation, so I'm thankful that I did, because sometimes you just don't know what's going through a person's mind when you're trying to help someone, right? I literally went through something very similar to this from somebody who I thought was a friend that I tried to help, and they ended up not appreciating that help, ended up lashing out, talking to me crazy, but luckily enough, we were able to at least get away from the situation. I'll say that. In this case, they weren't so lucky. Let me give you guys a disclaimer before we start, though. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And let me say this, especially if you have kids, sometimes you just can't afford, like if you're by yourself, if it's just you as an adult and you want to help somebody, fine. That was pretty much the situation when I was in. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll only be putting myself at risk. And luckily it didn't turn out bad, but we had to, get away from the situation. In this case, this lady had her child around this person that you thought where you were just trying to help. A New Jersey man has been charged with murder after the grisly axing death of his sister-in-law and 9-year-old niece, according to officials. So this man was actually family. Everroy L. Morrison. Let me get this damn idiot's face back up on the screen if I can. Give me a second. Right here. That look in his eyes is just a look of it's just an empty look in his face. A very, very empty look in his face. And that's a dangerous thing. He's 44 years old, of Roselle, and was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, motor vehicle theft, and several weapons counts, the Union County Prosecutor's Office and Roselle Police announced on Monday. The bodies of Keisha Morrison, who was 45 years old, right here, and her young daughter, Kelsey Morrison, were found April the 18th by police officers who had been called to a home in the 200 block of West 7th Avenue in Roselle for a report of 2 missing people. Officers found the victims' bodies and determined that Keisha Morrison's car had been stolen. Investigators tracked the car to Maryland, where the driver, Everroy Morrison, was stopped and arrested for possessing a stolen car, according to a press release. An investigation by the prosecutor's office, Roselle Police, and Maryland State Police led to Morrison's arrest. Officials say that he had been living, here's what I want y'all to catch. Yeah, there's an emptiness. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. It's just a dreary, empty look in his face. Investigators by the prosecutor's office, Roselle Police, and Maryland State Police led to Morrison's arrest. He had been living in the basement of Keisha Morrison's home at the time of the slaying. They were doing him a favor because he was running across hard times and didn't have any place to go. I know a lot of y'all, if y'all have had some people that were disenfranchised, maybe some people in your own family, if you can relate to that. And it's like you want to help people, and you always wonder in the back of your mind, should I help? Am I putting myself at risk? What's going to be the risk versus the reward? Maybe this person will fix themselves, get back on their feet. The risk is this could all go real bad. Living in the basement. Atasha Scott, the sister of Keisha's husband, Gary, told NBC New York that Everroy had been living there for more than 2 years and was recently told to move out, but he had not done so yet. So tensions were probably already really high. I can't go into details about what happened, but I can tell you she was uncomfortable with Everroy living in the basement. Scott said the killer had wrapped them up in bed sheets, stuffed them under my niece's bed. Gary allegedly found what appeared to be a murder weapon, a bloody axe, stuffed between two mattresses in his bedroom, the station reported. On the floor, it seemed like somebody was trying to clean up blood like it was swirled around, according to Scott, who told NBC New York. Scott told the station Everroy was jealous of Gary's life, saying he wanted what he had. That is dangerous. Living in their house and you're jealous of what they got, but they helping your sorry, non-working, disenfranchised punk ass, they're helping you out. But you feel like, I want what they got, but you don't want to work and earn what they earned. I can't stand selfish, jealous, lazy ass people like that. That dude, Everroy Morrison, is being held in the Baltimore County Detention Center in Maryland awaiting extradition. It's not immediately clear whether he has a lawyer. We hope that this arrest can bring some small measure of closure and comfort to all those grieving Keisha and Kelsey, according to Union County Prosecutor William A. Daniel. The prosecutor's office and police did not immediately respond to requests for more details. The investigation is ongoing, and anybody with information on the case is urged to contact the prosecutor's office or Roselle Police. So you can find more information on NBCnews.com as it comes out, or you can just Google search it, try to stay updated. If anything major comes out, if it's more that comes up, we'll definitely talk about it here. Let me give you guys the fair use real quick. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. As always, you can show some love to our channel and support us by way of simply clicking that thumbs up. If you will, hit that thumbs up. It'll share this video. More people can see it that way also. So let me hear more about this story.
Kelsey Morrison's uncle is now in custody in Maryland. He was arrested for driving a car stolen from the family's home here in Roselle, and he is now a person of interest in the murders of Kelsey and Keisha Morrison. Just 3 days before her 10th birthday, Roselle police are investigating the murder of Kelsey Morrison and her mom, Keisha.
We demand justice for Keisha Baker Morrison and Kelsey Morrison. We will not sleep until we get justice.
It started with a phone call from Kelsey's school saying she didn't show up for class Wednesday. Gary Morrison came home and found blood in his daughter's bedroom.
Kelsey's room was wide open and they saw blood on her bed. And they thought maybe something else, but then they saw the walls and it looked like splats on the wall.
Gary Morrison's half-brother, 44-year-old Everroy Morrison, is now in custody as a person of interest, nabbed near I-695 in Baltimore County, Maryland, for driving a stolen BMW. Gary's sister, Atasha, says her brother allowed Everroy to live in his basement for the last 3 years.
Very attentive, very loving, spoiled. My brother has a big heart. Sometimes heart is just too big.
Neighbors describe the Morrisons as a loving family.
They were a beautiful family, amazing family. This is devastating for the community, devastating for the family, right? The husband.
But Atasha says there was tension because Keisha wanted Everroy to move out.
They just weren't comfortable with him being there anymore.
The Union County Prosecutor's Office is investigating a double homicide.
This happened in the town of Roselle, New Jersey. Family members say a mother and her daughter were found dead in the home. CBS 2's Christine Sloan is there live, where she spoke to some family members today. Christine.
The crime has shaken this community, a school placed on lockdown. Family members tell us a gruesome scene inside this house where the mother and daughter were found dead. Family members also say they believe a person living in the basement, who we've chosen not to identify, is the suspect and under arrest. Atasha Scott and her family coping with unbearable grief. She says her sister-in-law, Keisha Morrison, and Morrison's daughter, Kelsey, were discovered dead by police inside Kelsey's room at their home on 7th Avenue in Roselle, New Jersey.
We demand justice for my niece. She didn't deserve this. We demand justice for my sister-in-law.
Scott says when Keisha's husband arrived, he busted his wife's bedroom door.
When he went into the room, he found a crime scene, but there was no bodies.
Keisha's husband called police. The family was taken away, and police broke the news to them hours later.
Unfortunately, Kelsey and Keisha are deceased, and that's what they told us. Kelsey was a firecracker, strong personality. Keisha was quiet. Never see her angry.
New information on a mother and child found dead inside their home in New Jersey. They were found inside a home in Roselle. Officials made the horrific discovery after the little girl did not show up for school. A suspect is in custody. Eyewitness News reporter Tony Yates at the scene there with the story. Tony.
Yep, Charlene, West 7th Avenue and Pine Street. This is just really devastating for this whole family in this very close-knit neighborhood. We are told that the little girl who was killed, her birthday would have been on Sunday. She would have been 10 years old. Now, a neighbor shared these pictures with us and identified the victim as Keisha Morrison and her daughter, Kelsey. People here say this was such a loving family. Husband Gary, wife, and the child always traveling and doing things together as a family. Authorities came to check on the home when the daughter didn't show up for school, and relatives became worried. So much worry, in fact, in this neighborhood that the school in the area was placed on lockdown temporarily. Eventually, their bodies were found in the house, and someone described as an uncle of the little girl, according to a neighbor and a family member, was taken into custody in another state, reportedly driving Ms. Morrison's car.
Just heartbreaking. You know, who?
We begin with a tragic story out of New Jersey. A mother and her 9.
New information.
Okay, so let me give you guys my closing thoughts. I'll just say this. There's been a few times in my life when I've actually tried to help a family member, and it turned out that it was probably not a smart choice on my end, and it ended up being not worth it. Hurt me in the end. And then even as recently as today and yesterday, as of the time of me making this video, thought it was somebody that I might be able to help in a time where they seemed like they needed some help, and that turned out not to be a good idea. But thankfully, nothing crazy happened, at least while around me. So it sucks that, you know, when you have the ability to help people, maybe give somebody a leg up, give people an opportunity to get back on their feet. You're talking about in almost 3 years of this man living in their basement, and he's just sitting there just breeding jealousy and envy. They made sure that this man could eat, had a roof over his head, paying for gas, electric, and water and all of this stuff. And he's sitting there thinking like, I want what you got. Then you should have gotten out that foot out your behind, snatched them shoelaces out your butt, and got out there and worked and learn, train, whatever it is. Have some get up about yourself. Like, it's just sad to think that people are that damn lazy, and maybe now you can see why he was maybe down on his luck, because he's lazy. He's a piece of crap. He's a POS. To sit there and take the life of a family that was trying to help him, allegedly out of a hard time. And so he murdered them out of jealousy. And for that, if they give him, and that would prove motive and murder and intent that was premeditated, I'd say at least nothing less than life in prison, no possibility of parole. If they had the death penalty, maybe he might deserve it. But let me know what you guys think about this story. To those two souls, RIP. Keep the husband and father in your prayers, man. That's got to be so sad for him that you try to be a good person and somebody like this could rob you of your backbone, your wife, your daughter, your future, your legacy. I couldn't even imagine what's going on through his mind. So y'all pray for his strength and pray that he can get through this. It's really tough. Let me know what you guys think about this story. If you have more to talk about, you can definitely post it in the comment section and let me know what you guys think, okay? Thank you.